Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If this video found its way to you today, don't assume it's just another scroll through your feed. There's something you need to hear. Something Allah has been guiding you toward. Chosen one, this isn't about chance. And this definitely isn't about entertainment. It's about alignment. Something deeper. Something sacred. Stay with me to the end, because a powerful prayer is waiting for you. And it's not just a prayer of words, it's a door opener. You see, there are moments in life when everything goes quiet, when even the air feels like it's holding its breath. And in those moments, it's easy to believe that maybe nothing's coming. Maybe Allah isn't listening. Maybe the things you've been praying for are buried too deep under time and silence to ever rise again. But what if I told you that everything you thought was being delayed was actually being redesigned? What if what looked like the stillness of your life was actually the softness of Allah preparing something unimaginable? Because you, the one watching this, you're not forgotten. You're not random. You are the one Allah has been setting apart. Let that settle in. While others were celebrating temporary wins, you were enduring divine delays. While some were being seen, you were being hidden, not because you were unworthy, but because what's coming with your name on it needed space, and patience, and silence. So let's be honest. How many times have you looked around and wondered, why not me? Why do the doors seem to open for everyone else? Why does my life feel like it's always waiting for something that never arrives? But what if your delay is a sign of elevation? What if Allah is teaching your soul to recognize weight, so that when the blessing arrives, your hands will know how to carry it? Chosen one, this is not a phase. This is not the middle of the story. This is the part where the divine pauses the scene, because something massive is about to walk in. And when it does, it won't whisper. It'll roar, not because it's loud, but because it's undeniable. Have you ever noticed how Allah brings things together at the very moment you stop looking and start surrendering? That's not weakness. That's trust. That's the soul finally letting go of the illusion that we're the writers of our own destiny. Because here's the truth. You don't have to imagine what Allah is about to make happen. You just have to be ready to receive it. And receiving begins with awareness. It begins with listening, not with your ears, but with your soul. Because what's being prepared for you isn't just a change in circumstances, it's a change in position. Allah isn't just giving you something, He's positioning you for something that will shift the direction of your entire life. So here's your wake-up call. Not the loud, dramatic kind, the divine kind. The kind that gently says, you're not behind, you're not lost. You're being written into something greater. You might not see the script yet, but the author of the script has never once dropped the pen. If your heart's been tired, if your soul's been quiet, if the days have felt slow, just know this. Something is building, something is forming, and it has your name on it. Stay with me until the end. There's a prayer waiting. A prayer that might just be the signal that your heart has been searching for. There's a secret reality most people never talk about. And that is this. Allah doesn't rush greatness. He doesn't build on shaky foundations. He doesn't elevate people just because they're loud, visible, or popular. When Allah is preparing to do something remarkable in your life, He often starts by removing everything familiar around you. It's uncomfortable, yes. It's confusing, absolutely. But here's the reality. Before Allah makes your life bloom, He usually strips it bare. That's not punishment. That's purification. Sometimes, the pause in your journey is not because you're off track. It's because Allah is slowing you down just enough to prevent your collapse. Imagine how many people stepped into success too early and it destroyed them. Now imagine Allah protecting you from that destruction, not by withholding your blessings, but by strengthening your core before they arrive. That's where you are now. The chosen ones always walk through phases of isolation, not because they're forgotten, but because their preparation is too holy to be public. You've probably noticed it. Your circle got smaller, your ambitions became quieter, and your soul, once loud with questions, has started whispering with patience. That's not coincidence. That's evolution. Do you remember the way a tree grows before it breaks the ground? Its roots go deep before the first leaf ever shows. No one sees the roots. No one claps for roots. But if they weren't there, the tree would fall at the first storm. That's you right now, rooted. And it makes sense, doesn't it? The times where you felt like nothing was moving, those were the moments Allah was doing His most important work. Behind the curtain, in the dark, where the soil was soft and the foundation was being laid. The angels knew. Your soul felt it. But your eyes just couldn't see it yet. This is why your isolation was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal you. It was the cocoon, not the coffin. The cave, not the end. Because what's about to emerge from this stage of your life is something that can't be explained, only witnessed. But here's the challenge. When you're being hidden by Allah, the world can make you feel like you're losing. That's a lie. You're not losing. You're just not being paraded, and that's divine. Because what Allah protects in private, He prepares for something public, something powerful, something purposeful. Let that sit with you. Your obscurity was sacred. So maybe you've been feeling forgotten by the people you thought would walk with you forever. Maybe you've been watching others rise while you sit in silence. Maybe your efforts feel unseen, your sacrifices unnoticed. But Allah has been watching every tear, every late night prayer, every breath you held in pain. And while you were wondering if He heard you, He was already designing the answer. And when the time comes, chosen one, when the time comes, it won't arrive with fanfare. It will arrive like peace, like closure, like clarity. Not loud, but unmistakable. And in that moment, you will understand why the waiting was long, why the isolation was deep, and why the distractions were removed. So here's your reminder. You were never off course. You were being refined. You were never being punished. You were being purified. And when Allah is about to do something in your life that's too big for your current surroundings, He'll first stretch your heart before He shifts your world. Don't rush out of this phase. Stay with it. Because on the other side of silence is a sound only the soul can hear. And it's getting louder. We're just getting started. Let's go deeper. Let's talk about what you lost. The things you prayed to keep. But slipped through your fingers anyway. The people you loved deeply, but had to let go. The dreams that once lit your heart on fire, but faded quietly in the shadows. At the time, it felt cruel. It felt like rejection. But what if it was divine redirection? You see, chosen one, when Allah removes something from your life, it's never random. Even the pain you didn't see coming was filtered through His wisdom. Even the closed doors were coded in mercy. What's taken away from you isn't always a loss. Sometimes it's the exact thing that keeps you from losing yourself. Let that settle. Allah didn't take it from you to hurt you. He took it before it could break you. There are blessings you asked for that didn't arrive. Not because Allah said no, but because He said, not like this. And there are people you begged Him to keep. But He knew their exit would open space for someone better, someone healthier, someone that didn't dim your light just to feel taller. If you look closely, you'll notice a pattern. Whenever something heavy left your life, peace slowly took its place. You didn't always notice it at first. The peace arrived softly, quietly, not to erase the pain, but to carry it. And that's exactly how divine healing begins. We often ask Allah for something new, but then resist when He starts removing the old. We cry for expansion, but hold tightly to the weights that anchor us. The truth is, you can't walk into the next chapter while dragging the people and pieces of a chapter that was only meant to teach you. And sometimes, chosen one, Allah will let something hurt just enough to make you release it. Not to punish you, but to protect you from spending years watering a garden that was never yours to tend. Do you know what strength that takes? To let go while still loving, to release while still hoping. That strength is not natural, it's spiritual. It's a sign that your heart is learning to trust the unseen, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. And here's the beauty in it all. Everything you let go of, Allah replaces. Not always immediately, not always with what you expected, but always with what your soul truly needs. Sometimes He replaces people with clarity. Sometimes He replaces plans with purpose. And sometimes He replaces everything, including your identity, so that you can walk into the version of yourself you were always meant to become. This is why what was taken had to go. Not because you weren't worthy of keeping it, but because what's coming is too heavy to carry alongside the past. Allah's preparing you for a new level of responsibility, light and favor. And those who can't walk with you in peace have no business standing next to you in victory. Here's a reminder you didn't know you needed. You didn't lose anything that was truly meant for you. You simply outgrew it. Or better yet, you outgrew who you were when you received it. Chosen one, you're not in mourning. You're in motion. You're moving towards something written, something higher, something that will make you thank Allah for every no you cried over, for every departure that made you doubt your worth, for every delay that sharpened your patience. This isn't about what you lost. It's about what you're about to gain, and how Allah had to empty your hands so He could finally place it there. We're heading into something even deeper. The shift is getting closer. Keep watching. There is a stirring in the air that most people can't detect. A shift that is not loud or announced, but still undeniable for the one whose heart is attuned to something deeper. Maybe you've started feeling it lately. A restlessness you can't explain, a subtle tug in your spirit, like something is about to happen, but hasn't yet made itself visible. You walk through your days, and everything seems normal on the outside. But inside, your soul knows a change is drawing near. Not the kind of change that happens suddenly, but the one that has been forming quietly in the background, waiting for the exact moment to unfold. This is where Allah places the chosen ones, in the in-between, between what has been and what is about to begin, between obedience and the opening, between silence and the shift. It's not a punishment. It's not a delay for the sake of delay. It's the sacred pause that separates preparation from manifestation. You've been doing the work. You've been holding on. You've been staying upright when everything in you wanted to fall. And now, you're standing at the edge of something new, something written long before you even had the words to ask for it. But here's the part many overlook. The closer you get to your opening, the more distractions will try to surround you, the more fragile your patience may feel, and the more tempting it becomes to rush ahead, to try to make things happen before they are ready. That's when you must stand still the most. That's when trust has to go from theory to practice. You don't need to move faster. You need to stay aligned. The light you've been waiting for will not come because you push harder. It will come because you were still enough to receive it. Your spirit wasn't made to chase. It was made to respond. And right now, Allah is not asking you to force the shift. He's inviting you to recognize it, to let it find you in your state of surrender. The answer isn't in doing more. It's in noticing more. Because sometimes the movement is not in your hands, but in the unseen realm where everything is already being arranged in your favor. It's a hard lesson for hearts that have learned to survive by controlling everything around them. But faith requires surrender. It demands the art of letting go without giving up. It calls you to keep showing up with a soft heart even when the outcomes are unclear. And that's what you've been doing, even if you haven't realized it yet. Every prayer you whispered while holding back tears was a thread being woven into what's coming. Every day you stayed upright despite feeling empty was a testimony that you're more prepared than you think. You're not waiting in vain. You're not being stretched for no reason. There is something being carved inside of you that only patience can complete. It's uncomfortable because it's deep, but it's deep because it's lasting. Allah is not in the business of temporary fixes. He builds in layers, and right now, He's finishing the foundation before He gives you the key. And here's something you need to understand. The heaviness you've been carrying isn't a sign that something's wrong. It's a sign that something holy is growing. That spiritual pressure is not here to crush you, but to remind you that birth is near. Not just the birth of a new season, but the emergence of a stronger, wiser, more anchored version of you. One that has been trained by silence and taught by stillness. One that can walk into the blessing without being consumed by it. Stay the course. Don't flinch when nothing seems to be moving. Don't mistake quietness for absence. Everything is still because something is about to begin. And when it does, you won't have to chase it or prove yourself worthy. You'll simply recognize it and walk into it, not as someone unsure, but as someone who has been patiently prepared by the most merciful Himself. What you're being prepared for isn't like anything you've seen before. It's not just another chapter in your life. It's not just another opportunity or moment of ease. It's something weightier, something richer. What's coming will not only change what you experience, it will change how you carry yourself through this world. It's not about material gain, or attention, or status. It's about divine placement. You are being moved into a position where your life will serve a higher purpose, one that stretches beyond your needs, your goals, or even your understanding. Elevation by Allah does not look like the world's version of success. It's not always loud. It doesn't always come with applause. Sometimes it looks like being put in a place where your presence brings healing. Sometimes it's being given clarity in a world full of noise. Sometimes it's finally having peace with the very things that used to torment you. That's a divine promotion, not in your bank account, but in your spirit. Not in how many people recognize your worth, but in how deeply you recognize the one who gave you worth to begin with. The chosen ones often don't realize how close they are to transformation because they've been trained through pain, through silence, through waiting. That waiting becomes so normal that when the breakthrough starts to arrive, they almost hesitate to trust it. But what you're walking into now is not a test of your patience. It's a fulfillment of your endurance. The shift is subtle, but steady. You're being lifted into alignment with a purpose that is older than your problems, deeper than your doubts, and brighter than your plans. Don't be surprised if things start falling away again. Don't panic if certain people begin to fade from your life without explanation. Don't overthink it when some doors quietly close. What you're being aligned with cannot afford the distractions you once tolerated. Allah is cleaning the space around you, so what He is sending doesn't get contaminated by old energy. It's not rejection, it's refinement. It's not the enemy working against you, it's the Lord working for you, by removing what would dilute the impact of what He's about to place in your hands. This is where it all begins to make sense. All the waiting, the silence, the long nights of confusion, they weren't wasted. They were sacred. Every delay you endured was laced with divine calculation. Every moment you felt overlooked was recorded with precision. What's coming into your life now isn't just a blessing, it's a response. A quiet, powerful reply from your Lord to everything you kept hidden in your heart while the world moved around you as if nothing was happening. But something was happening. Something deep, something invisible, something heavy. You were being built from the inside out, not for a temporary win or a fleeting high, but for a transformation that would change your rhythm, your focus, your entire direction. You're not just about to receive a gift. You're about to become someone who can live inside it, protect it, and grow with it. That's why the process was long. That's why it hurt. That's why you were slowed down. It wasn't just about getting to the destination. It was about being strong enough to stay once you arrive. Now you're almost there, and the peace that's starting to settle in your chest isn't accidental. It's the sign. Not the peace that comes from having everything perfect around you, but the peace that arrives when your soul stops resisting what it always knew deep down. That Allah was never ignoring you. That everything truly is unfolding as it should. That nothing was wasted. That not a single tear was unseen. And now, as you prepare to enter this next season, don't carry the weight of your past. Don't drag the version of yourself that was only meant to survive. You're not just surviving anymore. You're entering a season of receiving, of rising, of finally stepping into what was written for you all along. So walk lightly, walk sincerely, and walk knowing that Allah is with you every single step. Not in theory, but in every breath, every opening, every answered prayer. Now, let us end with the prayer I promised you. O Allah, the turner of hearts and the one who sees what we cannot express, we ask you in this moment to pour your mercy over the one reading these words. Heal what hurts, repair what's been broken, and remove every burden that has been silently carried. Replace what was lost with something far greater. Fill every empty corner of their soul with peace that the world can take away. Grant them light in confusion, strength in weakness, and certainty when all seems uncertain. Prepare them for what is coming. Elevate them not just in status, but in character, in sincerity, and in closeness to you. And when the shift arrives, let them carry it with humility, with purpose, and with gratitude. Ameen.